Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to have you here with us for the London Film Festival. If you could begin with a brief introduction to your incredible film, Aftersun, what can audiences expect when they watch it?
Oh, I think it's best experienced without being told too much, to be totally honest. But it is about a young father and his daughter on holiday, and it is told through the point of view of the daughter as an adult looking back. So it's very much a film about memory.
It's hard to believe it's your first film. Where did you initially get the idea, and why did you think it was going to work so well for your feature debut?
I'm not sure I knew it would work very well. I'm very glad it does. I think it was a continuation in a lot of ways of the very first short film that I ever made, which was about some of the same themes, kind of set in a similar world but at a slightly different point in time. I didn't know if it would work, but I certainly hoped it would, and I'm grateful the audiences have been responding to it.
And it just seems absolutely perfectly cast. These two look like they could have known each other as father and daughter. How did you land on Paul? I mean, of course, sort of kind of shot to fame off the back of Normal People, but it's gone from strength to strength. And then, of course, young Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that credit goes to Lucy Party, our casting director, who was an amazing resource and guide through the process of casting. Frankie we found from submissions of almost 800 kids. It's a long casting process, but she just blew us away in the room when we met her. And Paul had just come off the success of Normal People, and I had an opportunity to meet, and we had a really positive, thoughtful conversation, and I felt like he understood the character and the script more than almost anyone else that I'd met. He understood the script in a way very few people had.
And how did you kind of manage to have this feeling on screen of these characters so lived in? It's just so naturalistic, you don't feel like you're watching people perform. Was there a lot of rehearsal time?
I mean, we had 2 weeks of rehearsal, but really that time was spent with Paul and Frankie just getting to know each other, like really building a genuine bond that they could work from on screen in front of the camera, and that's what they did. They really enjoyed each other, I really enjoyed them. There was a lot of trust between the three of us, and it was just a case of trusting them to be able to perform, and it counted, and they always did.
I guess this character as well of the father, it's maybe similar, to the character who played Normal People, that outer kind of strength and then a lot going on underneath. And it's something that Paul captures very well. How did you see this character, and how did you want to kind of drop hints, I guess, throughout the film that maybe not all isn't as it seems?
Yeah, I saw his character as somebody who was best at being a father. That is the thing that gives him the most strength, and he is in many ways the best version of himself when he's around her. And Paul was so perfect because he has that innate warmth and stability about him. And I think that had to be true so that the undercurrent of Callum's struggles came as a surprise. And then it was just a case of being very specific about placing those private moments where you see Callum alone throughout the film and slowly peeling back that cover for the audience.
And the look and feel of the film, I mean, I think most Brits would recognise this kind of a holiday resort and that wonderful feeling of being on holiday, of just kind of, the joyous moments, the little arguments, but also that it can feel kind of fleeting. What was your approach to the setting and the way you captured it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a person who, when they are on that bus going from the airport to the hotel, I'm already thinking about being on that same bus going home. And so much it was about capturing that sensation that this time is limited, it is finite time that they have together, and with every moment that passes is a moment closer to the end. And otherwise it was a case of drawing from references from family photographs of mine, of my cinematographer, and trying to really capture that sense of time and place, and working in collaboration with our costume designer, with our production designer to recreate the 90s in a way that felt true but not distracting from the narrative and the characters and the film itself.
And what do you hope people take away from watching the film? Because I guess it's got a lot to say about memory, the way we remember things. Sometimes we try to remember something so many times, it's sort of like rub the edges off. We don't know if we... And also as a child, through the child's eyes, you don't always understand what's going on with your parents. And maybe when you're older, you look back on it differently.
Yeah, I think it's about all of those things, but ultimately it is about no matter how frequently you revisit a memory or the way that memory may shift through a new perspective or lens acquired through new knowledge or just getting older in time, that the feeling endures more than the recollections or in specific details, and in this case that feeling is the love between the two of them.
And it's just had such phenomenal success. The critical reception, almost 5-star reviews I've seen everywhere. What does that mean to you, and also to be here at London Film Festival?
Yeah, I mean, it means a huge amount. It was very unexpected. I didn't make this film expecting it to connect with this many people. I hoped it might connect meaningfully with a few, and it's been more than a few, and that's been a huge surprise to the whole film team. Playing in London, I spent my weekends here as a kid. I went to university here. I've spent a lot of time in this cinema, in this space, the BFI South Bank. It means a huge amount to share it with the London audience, and I have a lot of friends and family here tonight, so it's very special.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for sharing all that. Really enjoy the evening. Thanks a lot. Cheers.